Hey, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, where today I am very excited to share with you the recording of the full podcast episode that I recorded with my friends John and Chris recently. John and Chris are two of my favorite designer friends. John is a trained fashion designer and he is my collaborator on the Sustainable Fashion Week runway collections that we do every year. And Chris is also a sustainable fashion designer who, like me, is self-taught and a bit of a rogue, but very creative designer in his own right. This is episode 3 of season 3 of their podcast, That's So Fashion, where John and Chris get together every month and just chew the fat about any topics that are currently taking their interest in the world of sewing and fashion. I was beyond excited to be their guest on this month's episode of their podcast. If you'd like to see a few little behind the scenes snippets, including the whole get ready with me for the podcast episode recording, head to my channel and you'll find the video there. John and Chris have recently opened a YouTube channel to host all of their episodes. So if you enjoyed watching this one, I have tagged their channel in my video description. You can head over there and have a watch or a listen to their previous episodes. I hope you enjoy watching this conversation. It was so much fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Hello, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 3, thank you, John, of That's So Fashion. I'm Chris.
I'm John.
And this month we are joined by the absolute, gorgeous, incredible, the iconic Nicole Khan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is so much fun.
It's, oh, I'm so excited.
Long overdue.
It's long overdue. There is nothing that this incredible creator has not done or cannot do. Incredible, very inspirational woman. And I'm very excited to get into everything that she's currently doing. So in the spirit of that, welcome to That's So Too.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
so
so
too.
excited
That's
to be
so
here.
fashion.
That's So Fashion too is what I meant to say. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. All the better for seeing you.
Please.
I know, my
guys.
social life is so dead at the moment. I'm like, this is my highlight. This is something I dressed for today.
Oh, well, it's always nice to have something to dress up for.
Exactly.
So, you know,
Incredible.
you're welcome.
Bone dry babes. I had to get it in there. So yeah, I think maybe it would be good to just kind of introduce. I doubt very much people watching this don't know who you are, but maybe a little bit of who you are, what you do, and maybe talk about how we came to be as a trio, how we got to meet each other.
So I describe myself as a sewer, a maker, and a content creator. My main passion is clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say sewing, but I think sewing is a way to get clothing. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But really, it's I love clothes. I've always loved clothes ever since I was little, and I think just being able to sew just gives me the power to make the things I want to wear. So I was on a show that you might have heard of called The Great British Sewing Bee back in lockdown.
Oh my
in
God.
2020.
Wow.
I can't believe it's been
I know,
6 years.
you should watch it. You should watch it. It was a good series.
Yeah.
I actually did watch it, but I can't believe that's that long ago.
I know.
know.
6 years ago.
And it doesn't feel... Oh.
That's
Yeah.
actually just knocked me for 6 a little bit. Sorry,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah. So proper has been now, but
Absolutely not. I will not have that said on this show.
I wouldn't be here if that was the case.
But luckily for me, I did move past it in the sense of that was my start on Instagram. Really, that was my start on sharing my sewing on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But then my account grew a lot, largely due to my transformations, which was a large part of the sewing bee. Actually, before I went to the sewing bee, I had no experience of doing transformations really. And it was the one unknown for me going into the show because I was like, well, I know how to do a pattern. I know with the made to measure, there was no big surprise.
Yeah.
The transformation was the unknown for me. I didn't know how I would do with it.
Wow.
But I loved it. I really loved it. And I think that just gave me the taste for then buying things secondhand, reworking them. And it just felt like it's not as easier from sewing from scratch.
No.
But you are starting off with something that's already an idea and you're just sort of finessing it.
Mm-hmm.
What a lovely way to discover it.
Yeah. And so Mark, who was on the sewing bee with me, he was one of the semi-finalists on my show, one of the quarter-finalists. His partner Clive started an organization called Boys Sew Too, where he was trying to raise awareness for boys in the sewing industry and so on. And at the Knitting and Stitching show, when was this? 2023?
2023.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was 22.
No,
but
it's
maybe I was
23.
wrong.
Yeah, 2023.
Gosh.
Because I was living in a rental at the time. We were having a house renovation.
Oh.
And he invited me to be the guest judge on the Boys Sew Too catwalk.
Yeah.
Of which there were 2 incredible designer stroke models on the catwalk.
I've only heard good things about them. Some say they're incredible.
But
Dynamic.
John stood out to me because of this incredible lace suit that you
well,
made,
thank you.
which was I was foaming at the mouth,
It's
absolutely
so
foaming
good.
at the mouth. But I also remember Chris coming out wearing your cat's keyboard, your cat bed, recycled cat bed with the keyboard keys on it.
Yeah.
Which was just so fun. I've never seen anything like it.
Great, why not?
Obviously, no one wore it better.
Thank you very much. You could say it was the key to success.
Oh god! But yes, I remember that, and actually, it was your twerk on stage. When I saved your number in my phone afterwards, you're still actually my phone is Christopher Full Twerk.
Great.
Wilcott.
Great.
Oh, that's what he's known for.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what he saved as my phone.
Well, is there somewhere where you haven't done that?
Genuinely no. When I was on Destination, there was one part they told me that I was twerking. I didn't realise I was being filmed. But it was after that point they were like, "Oh, we were going to keep the twerking, but time-wise, we couldn't." So, and I was like, "You cut my twerk." See you in court.
They didn't realize that it was your, like you say, your signature. They had no idea.
Yeah.
It's what you're known for.
I know. I can't stop myself. I need to stop it.
See, they made you dispensable after that. I mean, that's just a bad move.
I know, rude. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
Yes. So we met at the Boys So 2
Incredible
catwalk.
moment. Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's been so much fun actually, just being part of that whole sewing thing we have in common, and then obviously we've known each other through the Sustainable Fashion Week runways as well.
Yeah.
And
what's been quite nice from that I've enjoyed is watching you two blossom with your collaborations.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
Like with the which I think was off the back of the lace suit, the suit that he made for you,
yes.
the
well,
rainbow one.
Well, what happened was we finished the runway and I went to say hello to, it was actually Lee who was like, "You have to go introduce yourself properly. You don't know her, but she's clearly like cool. And you had said how much you liked the thing, honorable mention or whatever." And so you were talking to somebody, I don't know who it was, and I introduced you, and you're like, I'm just busy now, but come meet me at the stand in like an hour and we'll have lunch. And so we did, and I was like, "You like my suit so much, I'll make you one." And you didn't believe me.
Oh God, no.
And then a month later, I was like, "Can we go get fabric? Like time is running out."
Yeah,
and
time is money, honey.
Yeah. And so we did our fabric day, and we found that Tinsley one, and that was sort of the start of our kind of working together.
Yeah.
You had those close to Mariana. You're like, "I could really use your opinion on them," and we did our first collaboration.
Yeah, but that fabric that you chose for that suit is like
it's one of my favorites.
I love it.
I always go back to that shop for other things, and I always see it there and think like,
is it still there?
It's still there.
I might have to get some more.
Oh yeah, no, it's still there, and I love it. And they I always look at it. I think, and I have to. The only reason I got to be totally honest, the only reason I haven't bought more since is because I don't want to have a house covered in glitter. I've like finally got rid of the glitter.
I thought you were going to say only I wear it best, but
well,
obviously
what
you can't beat it.
Well, maybe I want. I don't know. I could do a 3-piece instead of a 2-piece. But I mean, even still, like a little waistcoat. But honestly, I've steered away from it so many times because I'm still reminded, like every so often, I still find like a little strand of it, and I think like it's been like 3 years.
Wow.
That's me with faux fur. I think the last time I saw with faux fur, I was like, never again.
Yes.
Oh, you and me.
I know, you like blow your nose. And like, I had that with denim once. I was doing a denim.
Yes, denim is also very.
And I was doing a slipcover for a friend with their dad's like 40 pairs of old jeans over like a 30-year period. It was like, we're going to throw them out. The charity shops don't want them. So we made a slipcover. And I was like, that's fine. We'll just do the whole thing on the overlocker. And honestly, I was sneezing denim for like weeks.
Wow.
Weeks.
That's crazy.
It's
similar to
the fibers.
Yes.
The pink faux fur jacket I made.
Oh my God,
that was exactly the same. It was like in my lungs.
Yeah.
It was like...
Yeah. We're probably all dying of...
Oh, I know, and it's all synthetic.
Fiber
Exactly.
inhalation,
Honestly.
But worth it because it looks great.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how. Sorry.
Yeah, but that suit thing told me so much about you, John. Because honestly, when you were like, "I'm gonna make you a lace suit," and I was like, "Yeah, amazing," and I was like, "Who does that? Who does that?"
John does.
I know. And then he slid into my DMs. He's like, "Oh, so the suit? Do you want to make it still? Should we go fabric shopping?" And I was like, "Were you for real? No way!" And even sewing cushion covers for the people. I'm like, I'm such a selfish sewer. I don't know about you, Chris, but
no,
I'm
I do
like,
it for other people all the time.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh God, you're selfless as well.
We're just great people, you know. It's just,
Okay, I'm the only biatch in this group.
No, don't
I'm
be
selective.
silly.
I'm very selective. Like my, I had a teal and orange jacket that I made. My sister liked it. I was like, fine, you can have it. The faux fur pink one, my niece really liked it. I was like, fine, you can have it. So I do sew for other people, but mainly for myself.
Oh, so but you started off sewing for yourself.
Oh, for myself first.
Yes, right, okay. Well,
charity starts at home,
I'm going to take that trophy back from you. That does not count.
Thank you.
I know,
Family
yeah,
house does not count.
Okay, fine.
I'm the only one here who doesn't sew for myself.
Doing the nation a service as per usual.
Actually, it was those two looks that when we first met that I were the first things that I had made for myself in probably like close to 20 years. Like I only make for other
you don't
people.
really make for you.
No, I never do. I mean, I have since, like we went to that event at the Sarah Cherry shop and I made that denim jacket, which actually I wear all the time now, so that worked out quite well. But really, I mean, it's for other people. Like we haven't even, we'll do that for next
It's also your bread and butter though as well, isn't it? So
yeah, well, I was going to say next chat we'll talk about all the stuff I've got on the go at the moment, but I think it's something stupid. Like I've got like 7 different outfits for different people going on, all going on right now, like different varying degrees of casual to like one super formal, like crazy thing that we will come on to the next. That'll be next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
And I'll remind you of last episode where we said about not overburdening yourself with projects.
Yeah.
Hey,
there's a lot of space between all of that.
Okay, fine.
One of them's not due until January of next year.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're good. We're good.
Fine.
And I took the job on December of last year, so I gave myself like 13
Oh,
months
okay,
to do it.
So
don't
retract.
You worry.
Well done.
You see, that's the mark of a true fashion designer, because when I describe myself, because it's like, which is why at the beginning you asked me how I'd like to be introduced, and I'm like, I feel so weird with titles because it's like I sew, and you could say I'm a sewer, but it's like sewing itself isn't my passion. It's and then even with fashion, it's like okay, yes, I do technically design and make my own clothes, but when you say fashion designer, like if I said to someone I'm a fashion designer, they immediately think, oh, who do you work for, or
exactly
what brands
I get that all the time,
and there's a different connotation, and so I'm always like, I do these things, but I'm not those things. It's a funny kind of space to be.
No,
really.
absolutely.
I relate hard to that.
Well, we've talked about that many times, and I know you and I have, especially again in those early days when we were just kind of getting to know each other, and it was come over and take a look at some things. Like I need a designer's perspective because I don't have that mind space, like headspace. And I do get that quite a bit, and I quite like it. It's nice. And we've talked about this on the podcast before, but you and I as well, when we've done these upcycling sustainable fashion week collections, which have been really fun and quite sort of area of growth for myself, I still look at the ready-made existing garments and think, how on earth am I supposed to make something out of it? It's already like there.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at it and you can immediately see all the finessing to do. And I really struggle with that. Like
it's kind of like a thread throughout our whole thing though, isn't it? It's that I'm kind of like the chaos one and you're the refined one, because I looked at what you do like a professional fashion designers and go, that's too rigid for me.
And it is rigid. It kind of has to be.
It kind of does have to be, yeah. But, but that's why I like seeing like the kind of collaboration between you two, like Blossom, because from that gorgeous suit that you made, which was incredible, to then fast forward to Sustainable Fashion Week and that entire like spread of models that you had with all these incredible things, you kind of go, one, like you say, growth for you, but you kind of go, this is what you can do when you inject love back into clothing.
Absolutely.
And it's just so many gorgeous pieces.
Well, thank you.
I'll tell you one superpower I'd love to have from you, though, is the pattern drafting.
Yes.
This guy was just like, I just made the pattern. I'm like, just made the pattern? Like, you just drag it out of your ass? I'm like, oh my God, it takes me 2 days to draft a pattern. And even then it's not right. I'm like, I don't understand.
I do 3 patterns by lunch.
I know,
okay, fine.
I know.
I'm not even out of bed yet. Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Well, I'm happy to do a tutorial. I literally put this table up on risers, and that's where I do it all. So I can extend it to get like extra length when I need it, and it's fine. I've got all my blocks here. We can do a tutorial.
But it is a superpower.
It is a superpower.
It is a superpower.
It is. But I think that's one thing home sewers struggle with. Is the patterning side of things.
So I try and self-draft where I can, but I would never, which is why I related so hard to what you were saying about you don't see yourself necessarily as a fashion designer, you're just someone who loves clothing and making. As I look at what you do, like with the pattern, I would never put myself in your like level, your area league.
Oh, sure.
Because I'm like, for want of a better word, I bodge my way through pattern making for what I know I need, shapes. Whereas you're so finessed in that you can like, I know that this is if I do this angle, it's going to have this result, and if I
Right.
do
I
this,
mean, it fits your client like a glove.
It
Yes,
literally, it's
right,
incredible.
right. But so, but let's not forget that was 7 years roughly of study.
True.
8 years actually, like
Still a
in
superpower.
university. No, and I really appreciate that, and I love that I'm able to do it. And not only do I love it, I really do enjoy it. I think it's one thing to have the skill and be like, oh, that's my least favorite part. It's probably my most favorite part. I really enjoy the calculations and the way it looks and color coding and mirroring and all these things that I do are quite fun for me. So I can spend probably way too long on a plan and a pattern than I should, but I'm enjoying every minute of it. But also, every time I do something new, I either remember something I've learned from before that allows me to go further, or I learn something along the way, which allows me to move forward. So it's a continuous growth for me that I also thrive in. It's a lot of focus, and that's really good for my mind. And it's all these things that really suit me. But I often look at, like online, like on Instagram or wherever, people that I follow, yourself included, who finesse existing garments or who work with like Vogue patterns or simplicity patterns or anything that's like store-bought. And I've like done that before. I really struggle with that. And I don't know if it's that I've been taught how to make a different way and those existing patterns just don't work for me, or they look wrong in my head. I know they're not wrong, but I really struggle with them. I've tried to customize like store-bought patterns thinking it'll cut half the time out of my work, and in the end I start all over again because I don't know how to work with them.
I wonder if that's because it's interesting you say that, because I think one thing when you draft your own patterns is the construction from it comes naturally, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because you know what order to do things in.
Yes,
implicitly.
Yes, absolutely.
But when you go to the paper pattern and you're just like, okay, so what bit do I do first? What, and you'll work it out.
Yeah, of course.
But
and
it's not as seamless as that intuition when you've drafted the pattern yourself.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. The instinct isn't there. Whereas if I've got my pattern pieces laid out on the table, you might look at them and think, well, they're not even numbered. How do you know?
But then you also make your plans. We've had this conversation before. Is you do a plan first.
Yes.
Then you do your patterns.
Yes.
Then you do everything else. So when you get to the pattern stage, you've already got a plan of what's what.
Yeah.
So you've just got to refer to that. Whereas with a store-bought pattern, it's like
I had this fabulous professor and a teacher, whatever you want to call her, in university. She hated me, by the way. But
shout out.
No, honestly,
hey girl,
it's true. I won't name names, but anybody who knows
who
me
you
who's
are.
listening they would know.
Don't be a John hater.
But no, she really didn't like me. But anyway, she really drilled it in to all of us on the course that if you're going to be a good designer who is a good pattern cutter, you have to have a plan. If you don't, if you go wrong somewhere, you will never be able to figure out where you went wrong.
Yeah. What is a plan?
So exactly. A plan is you essentially have a large piece of paper, large enough for the work that you're going to do. Your blocks
all the pattern pieces and everything.
Correct.
Right.
Your blocks are traced out onto that piece of paper.
Yeah.
And all your style lines go in, and some are color coded, some are with dots, however you choose to work. And you trace off all of your pieces from that. It's like a master plan or a plan.
Right.
So let's say you were just making a simple, button-down shirt like Chris is wearing, like something like relatively straightforward, although I know yours isn't, but just like a basic one.
I'll take the shade.
I just mean if you were using, I just mean something without fancy style lines or dots, like something in a simple way.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got 2 front panels, 1 back panel, 2 sleeves, like that kind of thing. Everything would already be there, and you would have adjusted the size. You would have maybe moved all your darts or gotten rid of them or made your collars bigger or whatever it is. And it's there. You trace it off from there. You make it. Right. If something doesn't fit, you're not trying to look at loose pattern pieces. Where did I go wrong? It's all there in front of you. You can measure everything. You can change it directly on there.
Right.
And that was the first thing we learned. And I've not forgotten that. And I remember a girl in particular in my class making a plan and then cutting it up. And those were her pattern pieces. And she got scolded for doing it wrong.
This hated even more.
The old fashioned way of teaching. But it works really well with the way my mind is. Yeah. And it really helps me because, again, if I know I've done something wrong, something doesn't fit properly, I can always refer back to it and immediately find the problem.
That's so sensible. I wish I was that sensible.
It takes a little bit longer, but it yields a better result. Everything fits better. And if I need to make alterations, I can go back to that and change it. Sorry, you were going to say?
No, I was just going to say, for you, that's second nature because that's just how you've been taught and how you work and stuff. But most... I would put money on most people not even knowing that's a thing.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I only know this thing because I was taught that way. But then everybody who was on that course would have been taught that way. Whether they choose to do it or not is up to them. I
That's such a
found
good
that
idea.
worked really well for me.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Right? Like, and
Here's us just like fumbling away. Does this
Roughly
work?
cutting into pattern shapes, hoping for the best.
Exactly.
God.
And
yeah.
you know what? When we did the first Sustainable Fashion Week together, and I made what do we call the jellyfish dress,
Yeah.
which is still one of my favorites.
Yeah,
which, by the way, I bought more material to recreate it with.
Oh, amazing.
I had made this pattern for it, but we were so pressed for time, I couldn't do a plan.
Yeah.
So I've got the pattern pieces.
Living on the
Are
edge.
you okay?
Oh no, I still think
Still in
about it.
therapy.
Honestly, it still gives me nightmares. But I
believe it.
do have those pieces with the intention of remaking it, which I still haven't done it because the idea was to remake it, make it better, make it fit better, and I haven't gotten around to start over again. And that's the reason I haven't redone it, is because I never did it that way. It's like, it's not right for me. I have to start over again. I just haven't had the time yet to do it. But the plan is to remake it and, post it all over social media. But I can't do it until, like, those makeshift patterns that I made in like 35 minutes, I can't use them.
It's so funny. I know we've talked about this continuously, about the different way of working, but
Yeah. Well, I do sometimes have two minds about the fashion education, because I think on one hand, obviously, it brings out amazing skill like you have.
Sure.
But at the same time, you get so institutionalized, don't you?
very that.
It's kind of, this is the way we do things, like your tutor was saying.
Yes.
And to the point where you almost feel like it's wrong if you don't, you know?
Absolutely.
And obviously it suits you, that methodological way of working. But yeah, I think part of the reason, and probably for you as well, Chris, part of the reason our creations are just so kind. I mean, personally, I can say sometimes hit or miss for me, but when they hit, they really hit.
Yeah.
But it's because we just have that unfettered, there's no rules.
Yeah.
You know?
You just go with what
just
you
go for
feel
it.
you want to do. Yeah.
Which is why on the sewing bee, I used to get really cross when Patrick would go, "Oh, it's the wrong fabric choice." And I'm like, I had no idea there was such a thing as a wrong fabric choice. The first time he said it was episode 1, and I was at first pattern challenge of episode 1. Straight out the gate, bottom. I came 12th in the pattern challenge out of 12 because I chose the wrong fabric. I was like, this would sell out in the shops. This is a gold lame pleated wrap skirt. I'm sorry. I'm not having that. It doesn't hem, but who cares?
Yeah.
I'm totally with you on that. And
It's subjective, isn't it?
No, but it is. And I can't help but, again, think of that sort of, like you say, methodological way of...
we should just, to record it.
But... push the button.
Methodical.
Yeah. But...
methodological, actually.
I
love it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they go together. But I can't help but think that way. Even before the studies, that's just how my mind works. But then I also I can picture people saying, that's the wrong material for this, or that's the wrong material for that. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no wrong material. Unless you were to say specifically, the pattern you're making was designed for stretch, and it won't fit, or it won't sew, how is there a wrong material? If it looks a certain way, if you've got your vision, if you've created something. So I may be really rigid in a lot of the things that I do because that's how I am and I was taught that way. But I also have grace for those types of things. And I think that that's where you're letting your creativity out, and that's where you've got to play a little and sort of stretch that line a bit.
I think for the last couple of years, though, it's been also nice. And I was saying about your kind of collaboration, and I think generally for you as well, seeing you slightly grow into being able to deal with the chaos of not being so rigid, it's been lovely to watch.
It's a real struggle.
I know it is. I know.
Well, you wouldn't know it though.
No, but oh my god,
I'm already in the room with you, even if I'm not in the room, watching you. Like, oh my god, there's no plan. It's nice to see the growth in that.
Well, thank you. It's crazy though. I could look at something for like a week. I don't know. Remember there was that shift, that polka dot thing I made into that two-piece? I think I looked at that for weeks, and I was like, there is nothing I can do to this. There is no way to change it, apart from fixing it because it was so badly made. Like, what? And then I was just like, okay, well, I'll make it into something else. I finally got to terms with what I could do. But honestly, it took weeks of staring at it and thinking, there is nothing to do here. Like, I don't know why I picked this. Like, what's wrong?
You turned it out into such a gorgeous.
No, I did. It worked out quite well, and Pip looked amazing in it. Like, it was super fun. But it was just this, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this?
Well, see, I default to like a two-piece. When I look at any transformation, I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Cord, obviously, two-piece.
Exactly. I'm like, jumpsuit, two-piece,
right? But like, But even to have the mind to know to do that, like I'm there sitting being like, there is nothing that can be done. Like the world is ending.
But that's your fashion teacher in the back.
Yeah,
of the
no,
mind,
of course
like,
it is.
Yes.
But I'm like, what I should like. I make this. I do these things for a living. I've made a million things. I've made swimwear and shoes and dresses and suits and yet I can't. Like, why can't I?
Yeah, but you can because you did.
No, I know, but
But is it also, John? I think because I sew with myself in mind. Like I'm my own client.
That's true.
So I will kind of go, I know I would wear that and I know I wouldn't wear that. So that kind of guides my, I mean, of course, the flip side of that is that then I default to the two-piece. Yeah. I love pair shorts.
I'm relating so hard to you right
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas I think because you don't design for yourself largely. You design for so many different women.
No, that's true.
That is kind of like, if I gave you a brief and I said, John, it's this, she's sporty, she's this, she's that, this is the client.
Yeah,
probably would have come to you much sooner.
Yeah, no,
right?
that's a very good point because again, I'd be able to put my mindset somewhere where I've already done something or I know that person.
Yeah.
But just staring at a charity shop rag bag, like lovely piece of fabric, and it's just like, honestly, what the hell am I supposed to do?
It could be anything, and therefore it's like you're gonna land on.
What's the phrase? Decision paralysis or something? Something like we got. There's so much you could choose.
Yeah,
you can't choose anything.
Yeah. No, I know, and I do feel that sometimes, and I'm always so impressed at people like yourselves, especially when we've worked together, where you're like, oh, and I just decided, you know what? I couldn't think of a proper garment, but we needed an accessory, so I'm going to make a bag. Do you remember you did that amazing, that like IKEA bag looking, not IKEA, that laundry bag thing?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I did with the
yeah, exactly.
The bag I've got over there. In fact, that was a pillowcase, and I needed an accessory for the show.
And it's just like I am always so blown away at that because my brain just does not work that way. But if I needed to design a series of handbags for an accessories collection, that would be no problem at all. But that would come first.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone with the decision paralysis thing though, because I'm feeling that right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a bit overexcited. But I saw this thing on Vinted. It was a Primark dress. Loved the print. It had a border print and everything. It was so cute. But instead of just buying one and going, okay, well, let me do something with that, and then if I like it, I'll expand it against. No, I bought 3.
Yeah, as you always do.
Yes, right? I got overexcited. And now I'm here with these 3 garments, and I'm literally like, I hate it now. And every time I pick it up, because I've been trying to do this transformation for 2 weeks, and it's like, it's just not coming. It's just not coming.
Could you combine them in some cool way?
Well, this was the whole idea. This was as in all the dresses.
Yeah, put all 3 together in some cool way.
It would look monstrous. But yeah, I mean, that would...
But that's another level.
I have gone around the houses. I'm like, is it a dress? Okay, my first thing. Okay, cord, great.
2-piece.
yeah.
It will end up being a 2-piece, I'm sure.
But I'm already thinking it's going to be one of those power suits you were telling me about all that time ago that you had wanted to start doing when you did your transformation with that tartan. And here I haven't even seen it, and I'm like, oh, you're going to make a 3-piece suit with it. Crop trouser and a slim jacket.
Well, yeah, I'm scared of tailoring though.
I know. Well, we can do that together.
Yeah.
But also, I totally, Yeah.
So anyway, to reassure you, we do all get that.
Yes.
And sometimes the ideas come straight away.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, but it just takes a little breakthrough, right? So
yeah, it does.
When we were doing the Sustainable Fashion Week last year, remember we're from Farah, we got this silver pleated dress. And for ages, I'll have 2-piece.
Yeah.
Chop it off, skirt, crop top.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. I know.
But then I was like, that's just so cliche. I'm like, no, it has to be something else. And it's only when I just suddenly thought, what if I like, because there's really tiny pleats. But what if I cut up the pleats and make it into a bit of a fringe? As I tested it, I was very sensible that time, actually. I did actually test a little portion.
I know, it's like normally you just slice it off.
It's going to go in the bin now. It's not working.
Bin now.
But yeah, sometimes it just takes that little breakthrough and you have to sit with it sometimes.
Yeah.
And it'll come to you just like, whoa!
Well, I did that with the Aladdin tapestry carpet thing. I had that for ages, and I was like, it's so gorgeous. I only have one of these. The second I cut into it, I'm done.
Yes.
So it has to be, I need to know what I'm making. I need to go in with a plan. I remember, I did then eventually make the decision. I thought, right, I feel like the amount of fabric I've got only leads to like a small garment, like a jacket or something. So let's go for jacket. But then I was just I did catch myself because it was on the floor in the living room and I was just stood staring at it, which what felt like ages was probably about 20 minutes, just solidly like looking at this thing like, what the hell am I doing? Like, how do I start? What am I making? Like, the fear of it going wrong, the decision paralysis of like, where do I want it?
It's
and,
real.
It's
real.
So real.
Yeah. I've got these amazing, the Suzanne style embroidered, hand embroidered. I mean, they're bed sheets, I guess, but like a big blanket sort of thing. I've gone this shop in Brixton, absolutely gorgeous. Love the colours, love the embroidery, everything. And similarly, I'm just like, I really want to make something with it. And there's loads of things on Pinterest. I mean, most people make jackets or whatever.
Yes.
But so I'm just like, until I land on that thing, I'm so scared to cut into it and do something. And it's like, what if I spoil it? What if I make something and hate it?
Yeah.
You know, which is even worse,
that's
isn't
so
it?
real. That's so real. I had to force myself to start that. But I put the pattern piece on and I was like, I put the pattern on, then I moved it, then I looked at it. Another 10 minutes went by, I moved it again, looked at it. Then I even messaged you being like, I'm about to cut into this thing, kill me. And I was like, no.
Yeah, you did.
I have
or
to.
we were on the phone, maybe.
I think we were on the phone actually, and I was like, I'm about to do it, and I'm like terrified. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna have to do it. So I just made one tiny little, and because I'd done that, I was good to start.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's done now.
Yeah.
I have to just go.
Yeah.
And I forced myself into it, and it worked out, so it's fine. But that. I've got so much I want to make from this.
Yeah.
Where do I want to start?
When it works, man.
Oh.
When it works.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's like everything. All the stars align. And,
Nirvana.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
There are a few items in my wardrobe where I will never get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because I just think I can never replicate that. I don't know what spirit possessed me when I made that thing. It didn't even feel like me.
Yeah.
But it's just, like you just...
But I think some of those pieces are the best ones, whether they're store-bought or they're homemade, which I think is the theme of what we're discussing now. But if you, like you say, I picked that up in the shop, I finessed it, or I saw this and I bought it or whatever, and it's so not me, and yet it becomes your favorite piece.
Oh, yeah.
Or your favorite sort of selection of pieces, and then you don't even know where your mind was when you thought of doing that in the first place. Like, how would you have put this together or fit that together, that color combination? Like, you wouldn't even know where to start because you don't even remember what you were thinking at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's some of the most fun.
Yeah.
And I know I have a few pieces of fabric in my storage locker, in my fabric box, that are small, like remnants, if you want to say, like under 3 meters, but most of them are close to 1. They're not even for myself, but they're really nice colors, or maybe they were a really expensive piece that I got for cheap, or they're not even amazing, but they're just quality, but they just look amazing. And I think like they really are there for that one incredible thing that I haven't created yet. So I don't touch them. I just know that I will think, oh, I need that, fluorescent orange pure lace, and I've got like 0.8 of a meter of it, and therefore I'm going to get. And I just think like you say, when you come to that realization and you create something that is so unique and so special, whether in this case for yourself, how could you ever not be in love with that? Like, it's just so much fun.
So true, but there is a. We've spoken a lot about like creating. I'll check that anyway. That's all good. We've spoken about how we all create and how the decision paralysis and how like sometimes you just go for it and like then you have some golden pieces that you just can't. Oh, incredible! Love that. I will never let that go. But there is a dark side to creating in this modern world that we need to do it as a creative, and that's get it out there and show people.
Yes.
And I find that the hardest personally. I try and like work on it and like kind of still get my energy out there, but it's something that is just.
That surprises me. What is it?
Like, it's in like. Okay, so the elephant of the dark side of creativity is social media.
Right. Okay.
So it's like how
the response,
but it's the I'm loving making this thing. Now I've got to do the other side, which is I don't know, film stuff for content, or take photos of what I'm making while I'm making it, so then I can show. That's the thing I struggle with the most. Like during the show that I did just now as part of Reflections in Crystal Palace, I was very short on time. I mentioned I had like 11 looks to do in a month. Super, and as well as a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly. Full-time corporate job and your fashion career.
Yeah, I was going to bed every night for solidly for 2 weeks at 2 a.m. in the morning. It was incredible. But even during that, I was very cognizant of I'm going to need content later when this is done. So I can't just whip something out, cut out a pattern piece, put it through the sewing machine. I have to like, okay, I'm going to set up a camera. I'm going to do a piece to, I'm going to record myself doing it, or I'm going to, angle it, or, all these things that you have to kind of be very aware of now, that you have to, if you want to showcase what you can do with the aims of selling it or whatever, it's a side you can't ignore.
No.
And that's the side I find the most difficult.
It's true. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And I also am like you in that sense where I'm making things and I've been better at setting stuff up and I've got a ton of content that I haven't put out there, which one day I will eventually get to because at least I've got it ready to go. But it's taken me years just to have like a setup where things are being filmed as I'm doing them. And half the time I don't think of it because I'm so in the zone of getting stuff done or working to a deadline that I completely understand that. I don't know that I think of it as a dark side, but I do get what you're saying.
Well,
It is a challenge. It is a challenge.
It is.
But I'll give you a top tip.
Go.
Yes.
So I have various stations set up around my space where I can pop my phone into. Okay. So I have a staging area, what I call a staging area. So there's a section of my room where if I'm doing any outfit checks or anything like that, I need a full body thing. I know I pop the camera into that thing. So I've got various phone holders and gooseneck things clipped onto tables, and you know, so it's almost like second nature. I have a little tripod that I use when I'm at my sewing machine.
Right.
I have an overhead one that clamps onto my desk when I'm at my cutting table. So I'm literally just moving my phone around. I take it out of that one, put it into the next one.
And that oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, so that it's I've got specific areas where I do things, and I know where the phone goes.
Yeah. So you kind of cut out a lot of the thought process. Really.
Yes, a lot of the friction between setting up the phone and what you need to do.
Yeah.
Just literally, I pop it into the holder wherever it is.
That is a topic.
Because it's preset.
Yeah.
You cut the middleman out because you've done it the first time, and then you can just, like you say, pop it in and know that you're going to get the angle that you want. That's really smart.
Yeah,
that's really good.
It's almost like I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys! I'm actually totally going to have that still that tip because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'll get. So I've got a couple. I've got like the gooseneck thing, and I've got like this. I've even got this neck one that you put the phone on the thing.
Yeah.
That's not very good, but I think I might adopt a couple more and set them up because like my flat's quite colourful. So there are places I do prefer to do it that's got a nice background. So that's actually a good
so
idea.
if you could keep something permanently clamped or stationed where you know you film a lot, and then you just pop your phone in and off you go.
That's excellent.
It's still it's that getting used to that process, isn't it? Of like, oh, I'm about to make. Oh, hang on, let me just.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just dive straight into it. That's the. Once I've started filming, I get used to it. It's a little easier. I've greased it a little bit, but
well, you see, for me, because I totally get that, and I hear so many sewers and other creative people on Instagram who do the same thing. They go, "Oh God, sorry, I forgot to film in between."
Yes,
and so I get it, but I think for me, because I've made it such second nature, largely because you cannot create content without the content.
No, absolutely,
literally.
So there's so many times I kick myself because I've gone, "Oh God, I could have really used a clip showing this, or I could have really used." And it's those times I kick myself where I've gone, you know what, next time I need to get that clip. I'd rather have too much than too few.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's kind of keeping your eye on the reason why. And I think it's undeniable now that in terms of creativity, and especially if you want to start monetizing your creativity, as you said, unfortunately you do have to have a presence. You do have to have a presence on social media. And for me, I think the big pivotal point for me came on my Instagram when I transitioned away from static photos onto video.
Right.
It wasn't a conscious decision. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
But I think the reason that was so helpful, particularly for me doing my transformations, was you're sort of taking someone. It's part of storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're taking someone along. You're really transporting them from it was this before and through a series of it's now this.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of you've taken them on a journey, and you have to remember also psychology. I mean, I don't, people can go talk to death about psychology, but your brain doesn't like open loops.
No.
So once you've started off a thing, like it was this, and now it's going to transform, people want to see what it is at the end.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which ironically, I do love doing that. I'll do that with I'll do it probably more static photos, really. I probably should do more videos, but I'll do every now and then I'll do a series on my stories on Instagram of this is what I'm doing, or this is how it got from here to here, or so I like that there, but it's the remembering, and I've started, because I'm so aware of my reluctance isn't the right word, of my forgetfulness in that scenario to set up a camera or get a clip or whatever. I've now forced myself to, whenever I film or do anything, to separate it into its own folder immediately on my phone.
Oh yeah,
because then in the back of my brain, it's organised. It goes into my mind palace. That's in the back drawer in your bedroom. And then I've got that clip. I can do it then when I faff about. But so I'm finding a way of working with it, but it's difficult.
I literally film everything.
Oh, I know.
I
You're
literally
so good at
film
it. Everything.
Yeah, you are so
If
good at
I'm
it.
bloody getting dressed, I'm filming that. I mean, obviously within reason.
Yeah.
But like certainly with my sewing and my projects, I'm like, I film literally everything. I talk about it at the start. I show the thing before. I talk through where I got it. All that stuff. And 90, well, probably about 80% of it I don't end up using, right? Because sometimes, especially for Instagram short form stuff, you just need literally a few seconds clip of everything. So there's a huge amount that I don't use in the end, but it's
like you said, it's better to have it and not use it than not have it and need it.
Exactly. Come back to the whole conversation about regrets and all that
Exactly.
stuff.
Never have a what if.
You can't go back. You can't go back and reshoot it. So
No.
you might as well get it done at that time. Yes, it does slow things down. It does slow things down. And especially because when I was on Instagram doing my subscriber stories, I would often have to go into stories and take my subscribers along and show them exactly what I was doing at every single stage.
Right.
So that did take long, but I got the footage.
Yeah, I see.
And then I got the payoff at the end, which was the brilliant piece of content that people really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when, and you then get into this positive feedback loop, really, because, with social media, it's like, no matter what people say about it, when you're stagnant on social media and you're not seeing your account growing, it is disheartening.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you spend a lot of time and making the effort and,
absolutely,
as you said, putting your heart and soul out there and sharing your creativity, and then you just feel like it's crickets. It's really tough, and I'm kind of finding that on YouTube now. So I recently sort of announced my departure from Instagram because about a month ago I really had enough of Instagram. I was just sick of all the doom scrolling, sick of just other people's stuff constantly in my mind space.
Yeah.
And I really had big plans for myself this year. I really wanted to move the needle, shift something, and particularly with my earnings. I don't have a full-time job, so I am in the creative gig economy. I have to go gig to gig, job to job. And I found Instagram was just distracting me, like I got to set a stage with it. I'd built my following to over 200,000, and I kept thinking, what is the end game here?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not doing a huge amount of paid partnerships on Instagram because my vibe has gone very much more into the sustainable space, into that sort of thing. And so working with brands where the message is, well, buy this thing, it started to feel very disconnected from where I was going. But at the same time, I think, so anyway, so I decided I had enough of Instagram. I'm like, it's too much, it's too busy. It was getting like TikTok, I don't know how you feel about TikTok, but every time I go to TikTok, I'm like, I just have to come out of it straight away. It's so loud and so.
Oh yeah, it's so in your face.
Yeah. I found it really jarring, and I was starting to feel the same about Instagram because it effectively has become a short video scrolling app, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, especially with all the AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it used to be photos, and now it's just doom scrolling constant videos from people you don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I thought, well, I've got to a stage with it where I feel like I've done what I need to do with it. I don't know that there's what is the end game, like I said. And whereas YouTube for me felt like an untapped opportunity. It was a platform I could get monetized for views. And it took a while to get monetized. It took me a few months to get monetized. But once I was there, I was like, well, I'm making this video content anyway.
Yeah.
I would actually like to start getting paid for the content. And
Absolutely.
if I can't do it through Instagram, because Instagram doesn't pay for views, then I will have a go at doing it on YouTube. And I really felt, for a while, I tried to keep the two going in tandem. I was like, okay, well, Instagram is still where my heart is, but I'll still try and start up the YouTube thing. But I found that so long as my heart was still with Instagram, I was always going to save the better bits of content for Instagram. Because I was like, oh, my followers are going to love this. Like, this is just kind of wasted on YouTube. I hardly have any followers on YouTube. It's going to be like posting into the vacuum, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm going to save the juicy stuff for Instagram. But of course, my YouTube was never going to grow
if
I didn't pay attention to it, if I didn't put some of that juicy stuff on there.
It must have been really tough to manage both.
It was. I got to a point where I was like, if YouTube is going to be seriously a monetized platform for me in the future, I need to give it some attention.
Yes.
I really need to have a proper go at it and start posting regularly, as in twice a week. I was lucky if I posted once every 2 weeks on YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, I was really hoping that when I was signposting things on Instagram, like, okay, hey guys, I've got a video on YouTube.
Yes.
But it just wasn't happening.
No, people weren't making the jump from Instagram to YouTube.
Really wasn't, yeah.
No, and sorry. I keep cutting you off.
No. So that was a real hard lesson.
Yeah.
That there was going to be no translation between my Instagram following and my YouTube following. A little bit, but really peanuts,
Yeah.
But I thought actually I want to invest in YouTube because longer term, I feel like that's a platform I could more easily monetize. So I just took the plunge and I just announced to my whole following that I was leaving Instagram and I'd be, going onto YouTube and yeah, and thinking, okay, well, I don't know how many people are going to follow me onto YouTube, but I'm hoping out of 200,000, I mean, maybe 5,000, maybe, but not even.
Wow.
Not even.
I suppose because there's such different platforms, aren't they? They're for different vibes.
Yes,
They are,
very
absolutely.
different.
Like
vibes.
YouTube is like an investment, a time
Yes,
investment thing.
that's what we were talking
Instagram
about
is
earlier.
Is a quick dopamine
Yes.
fix.
Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah. And they are two separate audiences.
Very.
And I've learned this the hard way.
Yeah.
They are two separate audiences because with YouTube, you are investing time in watching someone's long form video.
Exactly.
15 minutes is a big ask for someone who's busy. And, you might come back to it later. It's like, okay, I like the look of that video, but I haven't got time right now.
Yeah.
So I'll save it, I'll come back to it on the weekend when I have time. And then you may never come back to it because,
you
you're busy doom scrolling on Instagram.
Exactly.
So, I just, after having a month off of Instagram and really focusing on YouTube, and I think the good part of me doing that was that I was able to invest 100% of energy into it.
Yeah.
And I really learned what it's going to take for me to go all in on YouTube. But I'll admit, I am really missing Instagram. And I think in terms of, as you said, just even Instagram can feel like a slow burn, but oh my God, that's nothing compared to YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube is a slow
different
burn,
timescale.
a really, really slow burn. But I'm investing in it because I'm hoping it'll pay off longer term.
Right.
But I think it's like comparing apples and pears, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now that I do know what it's going to take for me to invest the time in YouTube, I feel like now I can come back to Instagram because I miss it.
Yeah.
I do miss it. I miss my followers. I miss that community. I miss having people I can vibe with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because YouTube feels like a very one-sided transaction. YouTube feels very, I'm putting out the video, you're watching it. And maybe you might comment, maybe you might not. Instagram, it's so much more immediate.
It's like an instant, let's have a conversation about that thing.
Yeah, well, the engagement is different.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like YouTube is almost like you're just watching a television show. So you are seeing something that you want to see, but there isn't a way to really have that engagement. I know there is, but Instagram is completely different. And we were saying earlier, weren't we, like having, all your followers kind of being supportive and cheering you on and reaching out and asking questions and saying, hey, like, you just don't get that.
Yeah.
I had, this is going back a little while now, but I've had people reach out, like young guys, they're like teens and stuff, or their parents have in the past reached out to me and gone, my son has come across what you do and you made him feel seen because you're just so unapologetically you and you have these bright colours and, blah, 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 blah. Instant tears. Like, that's like, but you wouldn't get that. Because like you say, it's different audiences, it's different energy, it's a different way of interacting completely. So I completely understand. I mean, ask anyone. I'm an absolute. I almost said a difficult word then. I'm a big fan of Instagram. I'll say that. Because of that reason, it does have its downsides with the doom scrolling and all that business, but it's such a social.
Well, it's the community engagement.
Yeah,
it's a community
it is.
Like, I love seeing what my friends are doing. I love seeing like people creating something that's making them really happy or connecting with other people by what I'm doing to make people happy. Like, that's what I take out of it. What I like, and all the negative stuff I'll just leave.
Absolutely.
So I relate hard to that. I think that's I can see why.
Yeah. I think there was loads of stuff I didn't really quite appreciate the difference in that feeling between being a creator on Instagram and being a creator on YouTube. And but I think it's undeniable, as we come back to that conversation, that if you are going to be a creative, and especially if you are looking to monetize what you do have to work at building a presence on social media.
You do,
and part of that is getting used to the act of filming and sharing your work and sharing it on a slightly deeper level.
And even like talking to a camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that, like, feels weird. Like I'm trying to do it more and get used to it. But talking to a camera, knowing it's going to be to a person eventually, that kind of intermediary, I'm like, okay, so I feel weird stood in my living room talking to my phone. Do you know what I mean? It's odd, but getting used to that kind of way of doing it, it's
well,
good.
So I noticed this weird phenomenon with me, right? So on Instagram stories, I can talk until the cows come home, right? I'm like, no pauses, no nothing. It's all very natural and flowy. When I started my YouTube channel and I turned the phone that way, and all of a sudden it was like, it was horror.
Interesting.
Horror, right? And I was like, what happens to me? What happens to me when I'm filming for YouTube versus Instagram?
Do you feel because it's more cinematic?
Well,
Maybe.
so I think what it is when I'm on stories, it's like, I don't know, your brain has such weird psychology, right? Because I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking to my Instagram subscribers.
That's true.
And it's like I'm talking to another human. I know I know I'm talking to a phone.
You also know your followers, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're picturing
Well,
people.
again, it's
But
your community
I also know
engagement.
I'm posting it straight away. Like
Yes.
I've recorded story, boom,
Yes.
it's posted.
Yes.
Someone's going to see it right now, and we might have a DM exchange about it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm having a conversation with
Yes,
somebody.
I was just going to say.
Whereas when I film something, knowing I'm going to have to edit it, and it's all, I'm so much more like. Bleh, bleh. I mean, it's getting slightly better now actually because I'm now filming so much more for YouTube. But I was like, what happens to me? It's so weird.
That's crazy.
And I think it's like because I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I don't know who's watching it, and I don't,
It's just
and there's
the
no
void.
immediacy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no immediacy. It feels like, yeah, YouTube is very different. And even actually, and this is another reason I thought I've got to come back to Instagram, because there's certain aspects of my content that I'm struggling to translate on YouTube. I'm still going to keep going at it because I think I need to. But things like, I feel like with YouTube, your content has, like, whatever your thumbnail says, whatever your video title says, like, you've got to deliver on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it's something like, oh, I tried on 5 different things and this is my review or whatever,
Yeah.
there's got to be a point to the video. Otherwise,
Yes.
the person's watching it for what,
Yes.
right? Whereas there were a couple of videos I filmed this week where I'm like, it started off being one thing, and then it sort of meandered into another thing.
Oh, that's so.
I mean,
relate to
as
that.
one example,
Gosh.
right? So I started the video going, I'm going to make coming back to my vintage cord.
Yeah, lovely. 2-piece.
Hey guys, today on my channel, I'm going to start my thrifted 2-piece, blah, 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 from these garments. As I went through the project, I'm like, I'm not feeling this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it took another turn, and then I was like, so what do I call this video now? Because it's not
Yeah.
what
Right.
it started
It's not
off,
where you started out. Yeah.
Whereas when I was on Instagram, because I would do a lot of that stuff with my subscribers, they went with me on the twists and turns.
Yeah.
And then when I came to do the final edited reel, it was like I just showed the A to B. I didn't show all of the.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I just got to the point of it because eventually there was a point.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of what I mean when I was saying about the I take people on the stories every so often. I do like a mini series. That's kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
Because like I'm like I know I'm gonna end up somewhere very different because
Yeah,
that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come with this intention, but oh look, this random thing's happened that's now pulled me in a different direction.
Yeah.
But then pulling it into like a video. Obviously, again for Instagram, not YouTube, but you kind of go, oh, hang on, what am I doing? What is this?
Yeah. But also, I feel like, now that I think about it, I also feel like when you do those twists and turns in Instagram on stories or whatever, it's almost like it's very bite-sized, isn't it?
Yes.
It's sort of like, okay, so it's happening, and it's almost like you breadcrumbing it, and so the person goes, oh, okay.
I wonder what's
But
going to happen next.
Yeah, but when you've asked someone to sit down and watch a 15-minute YouTube video with the blind faith of,
Yeah.
just hang on.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows where it's going to end? It's like, who's going to watch that?
Yeah.
So
You make a very valid point. That's
yeah,
very
so
true.
I'm learning all of these things,
Very
and I'm
different
like,
formats.
it is very different. But I also wouldn't discount YouTube. I mean, even for you, Chris, actually, you've got a big personality, and actually,
Nice.
I think you would do well on YouTube if you got the hang of it.
I think I'd like to explore YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you mean like for us or like me for my brand?
Well, I mean, both really. Because
Because I think that's so fashion would be great on YouTube. But
Yeah.
I have like for my own brand.
yeah,
I have considered it because,
or even just as a personality.
or just as a person, yeah.
Like, I'm surprised you don't do more get ready with me stuff when you
It's
just
funny you
for
say that. I'll
work.
tell you why. That's funny in a minute. But yeah, I know I should. The amount of videos I already have on my phone of a get ready with me,
And you don't post
and I haven't
them.
posted them. Yet.
Why?
Because I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing I struggle with. Not necessarily too exaggerated a word, but that's the thing that it's like that stalling a little. I've got it, and then you go, right, I want to edit this because I want it to be like clean, but then I either forget, or I kind of go, oh well, it's not right, it's not perfect.
Screw the clean.
Exactly.
Screw the clean.
So that's the mindset I need to get out
Yeah.
of.
Well, I follow this woman on Instagram who does getting dressed in the morning, and she literally, she even describes herself as a technophobe, right? But she'll come up to the phone, press record, stand back, do the talking, come back up to the phone, pause, come back, So, and she's done no editing besides pressing
Yeah.
pause, and that's it. But it's just
It's so real, I
there's
suppose,
a certain
isn't it?
charm
Yeah.
about it. Like you understand that that's her format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually,
But it comes across honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that.
It's
Yeah,
like I think the
I
age
hear
of the
you.
super polished social media is dying. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I think it's just the last remnants of the perfectionist in me screaming. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I need to kill him off.
Yes.
Jab.
Well, an old boss of mine once said to me, and I never forgot this: never let perfect get in the way of good
Oh,
or good enough.
now that's a quote, people.
So
No,
when
it's
it's
true,
when it's
though.
good enough,
True.
when it's good enough, just go with it.
Just go with it, yeah.
Because it's
Feel it.
better. It's better to do that than to wait till it's perfect.
Yeah.
And what is
Well, 'cause
perfect
perfect doesn't
anyway?
exist.
Exactly.
No, and
But it
then you're
doesn't
just waiting around.
And I'll tell you the other curse of perfection, right? Because I follow somebody as well who won't name, but ex-sewing bee person, who I can tell labors over her content a little bit too much in that way.
Yeah.
She wants it to be perfect. It's all, all that stuff. And there's an element of, and I remember hearing this somewhere. The thing is, there's a bit of a disconnect because we all know implicitly that no one is perfect.
Yes.
We all know this.
Yeah, of course.
So when somebody portrays their life or portrays that content as perfect, there is a subliminal part of you that goes, but I know it can't be. I know
Yeah.
you can't be
Yeah.
perfect.
It
So
doesn't feel genuine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's this slight mistrust that happens.
Yeah.
It's also, we all know what, technology is. We know what it takes to edit to perfection. We know that there's been so much left on the edit floor, and you cut out all the good stuff to make
but
it
it's
look
not
good.
all. It's not even that. Sorry to cut you off. Sometimes I think even it's just the way things are curated as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So if it's one thing to edit amazing content like videos, but even if you're just doing photo only platforms and everything is just a perfectly curated photo, you're only seeing a snapshot into somebody's life that may already be not genuine to begin with, and then where is any of that real sort of stuff? I think that's kind of what you mean.
Yeah.
And what you're saying.
Well, people are they're kind of gagging for authenticity, aren't they? In a world of
now, especially
exactly,
feel like
the world of AI where everything on AI looks perfect.
Yes, right, and that's sort of, I think, force people to try and move beyond it a little bit, or at least maybe more creative people. And I look forward to that. I mean, I always struggle with that, wanting things to be perfect, but not in the sort of curated social media kind of way, for the way my mind works.
Of course.
And years ago, when I was doing Johnny Bakes and doing a lot of photography for it and selling product, a very good friend of mine who's a huge chef, stateside in Canada, had said, don't try and have a photo studio finish. You don't need it. And referred me to one of her friends who had over 1 million followers. She's like, all she does is take a picture of everything she makes next to her window, and there's just plants around, just because that's her own apartment or her own house or whatever. There isn't professional lighting. There isn't any of this. It's always in the same position. So there's no real variation, but what she's making, right. The variation is what she's making. Everything else remains the same. Natural light, whatever plants are in her window, and it's her window in New York. And that really helped me. And I'm still strive for my own mental,
that's the thing I'm talking about.
Focus. But it was, follow this example and it'll help you. And it did. And it was more genuine. It's definitely more authentic. And I think you can translate that into all of this. And like you say about that person, that unnamed person, striving for that sort of perfect content, but it just doesn't come across.
It ends up as a bit of a barrier, I suppose, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. And then you end up, as you said, it stops you from even posting the thing. So
you hold back.
Yeah, that is something that I'm very aware that I need to try and get rid of. That's actually one of my goals for this year.
Well, I'm going to challenge you, not even for this year, now.
Because we've had this conversation
before.
We
have 1,000 times over. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm coming back to Instagram. I want to see you in your boxers getting ready for work.
Guys. And then we start filming. You've seen it here first. Challenge accepted. I never want to back down from a challenge. No, but genuinely, I need to get over. I know I need to. It's one of those things. Nothing's perfect. I just need to post what I post, do what I do. Because I love doing it. That's the point. I love doing it. It's the, do I want to post this? Do you know what I mean?
You'd be surprised, Chris. I think it could be a real turning point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to show yourself, babes. You need to show yourself.
Cool. So, challenge accepted. That was something for a year this year anyway.
It'll be good for you anyway. It'll be a nice change to get into different kind of, I don't know, maybe routine's the wrong word, but I think I'll use that advice.
Yeah,
it's very helpful.
But here's a question then, off the back of that: do you feel, before we wrap up, just the time, do you feel that you alter how you create to suit social media?
At different platforms?
Either. Yeah. Do you, instead of because we were thinking about, when I said before, before I've even got into the actual making part, I've thought, I need to set up a camera then that alters what process I have, how long it takes each thing. Do I want to cut this now? Do you change how you create social media? Which comes first?
Well, I always think of filming or social my content. My content is only a documentation of what I'm doing anyway.
Nice.
And this is a top tip I always give to people
Good
who are
answer.
like, how do I up my social media game and all this? I'm like, you just film what you're doing anyway.
That's a great answer.
Right?
Yeah.
And therefore, the more you are aligned, the more what you're doing anyway is aligned with what you want to do and what you want to share. This is where everything falls into place.
Yeah.
So I think I'm only in the privileged position because I don't have a full-time job, or a traditional job.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have the luxury of being able to do what I want to do in a given day. And if that's sewing something, that's sewing something. If that's knitting something, that's knitting something. If that's sitting on my ass, that's sitting on my ass.
Yeah,
but obviously no one wants to watch me sitting on my ass on social media.
Again, you'd be surprised. I mean, OnlyFans is a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a reason.
That's my Ultra account,
Oh,
It's
great, yeah.
coming
absolutely.
in 2027.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just filming what I'm doing anyway.
Great answer.
And so the more you can create less friction in that whole process, because what you're doing anyway is something you love. You've taken out the friction from filming because you've already got certain angles and certain setups. You know, like you said with the woman with her baking. Sorry, the one with her baking.
Yes.
She knows I bake something, I shove it on that table, I take the picture.
Yes, every
There's
time.
no,
Keep it
again,
real,
that decision fatigue is out the way.
That's the thing, yeah.
And then you just, and then you've got the footage, and then you're just editing it and sharing it.
I've started turning something, again, the conversation we've had, which I used to see as an annoyance or a negative, which is the fact that I do have a full-time job, which gets in the way of the creation. I've started to invert that mind process, and now I include that in my footage. And I have that as like, I've got a couple of videos in progress at the moment that I'm going to post soon, and I'm editing. Come with me as a corporate creative.
Right.
And I'm using it like, it's
turn
it's
into
now
a
it's not
strength.
two separate entities.
No,
this
it's a strength.
is my life.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset I'm getting into.
Yeah.
It's the best.
And that's real. That's
Yeah,
real.
Because
exactly.
it's real, that's my life.
Because most people can't afford to not have a full-time job while
Yeah.
they're pursuing their their creativity.
Exactly that.
And so I'm going to challenge you seriously.
Yeah.
I want you to start doing Get Ready with Me's.
Done.
Right, in the mornings.
Yeah.
Because I think also secondarily, Chris, with your House of Wincott and all of that,
Yeah.
you're going to sell it.
Oh.
It's you that are going to sell it. Like if I just saw that cat bed keyboard jacket online, I'd have been like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I would have bought that from you off the catwalk.
Stop.
No, because
it's got life in it.
It's got life in it.
Yeah.
And it's so associated with that vibe, that fun.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've set the date to sell things, my first collection, which is Summer Solstice, 21st of June. And I've already got a plan that I've made of me wearing what I'm
You've
selling.
got to wear it. You've got to wear it.
Yeah.
You're your best icon.
So glad she can stay. She can stay. She knows the real team. No, I appreciate that, and challenge accepted.
Good.
Trust.
Good.
I'll
give you that challenge as well, John, because I know you work a lot in private.
Yes, he does.
You do incredible work, and you do it under the radar.
Yes. Everything.
But there's a lot
Far
that
too
you
hard.
could also do. There's a lot that you could also do. There's a lot you can show people that they can learn from.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know, this is what I mean about superpowers. It's like,
Yes.
I mean, doing the client work and the client paying you for the garment is one thing.
Sure.
But there's so many other avenues that you can monetize your skill. I mean, even things like the pattern drafting. I'm like, who loves pattern drafting? This guy.
Well, you've said to me about putting out patterns before, but that's such a to-do.
Yeah, but which you
I'm going to give you a
but-
tip for that too. I'll tell you that offline.
Yeah.
Well, I think you could do that, but I absolutely completely in your camp with this, because I mean, I've said this to you before. I don't think you realise the level of inspiration you could have to other people, because you're such a nice person and you impart your knowledge in such a respectful and connecting way that you uplift without even trying.
Oh, thank you.
And I think if you used to have, like, I don't know, your own channel of Come Pattern With Me or something,
Sure.
just as an example, I don't think you realise just the impact that would probably have on someone who is like, I don't know, maybe needing a bit of a boost or something.
Oh, well, that's very kind. I mean, I often do that. I've got a few friends who always reach out to me, and one of them always says, "Sewing Oracle, I need your help." Just like,
well, that's the name of your YouTube channel
okay,
right there.
no, so what do you do, John? Okay, so I'm the idea oracle. I always give people ideas. I'm
yeah,
like,
no,
you should
we do this all the time.
You should be a sewing agony aunt.
Yeah.
Design, I can
Yes.
do it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I do it
Whether
already.
you want to do that already,
Well,
yeah. You're just not getting paid for it right now.
No,
but
it's
you
just
could.
I help my friend.
Monetize what you're already
But I
doing.
do. I get it all the time. Like,
Well, yeah.
this sleeve head isn't fitting. What am I doing wrong? Or how do I take the seat? Anyway, whatever. We can. I don't
Okay,
need to
well,
go
your
into this
challenge
now,
is
but-
the next time somebody reaches out to you, a friend or
Sure.
whatever,
Film
and
it.
is asking for any of that kind of advice,
Yeah.
then you film what the solution is.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so I'll leave you with one example, right?
Yes.
So my last YouTube video I put out this week on Wednesday was the Winifred Aldridge metric pattern cutting for women's
Yes,
wear,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Classic staple
Yes.
pattern drafting book.
Yes.
I remember buying pattern drafting books when I was in my thing. Oh, I want to learn pattern drafting. Bought a few books, looked at it, and I was like, "What the hell? What is this even saying? Like, you don't."
Yeah. No.
You know,
If you don't understand the language,
exactly,
yeah.
right?
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah. So it's only when I went on that course at Morley College and they used that book, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so easy! Like, it makes sense now. Like,
Yes.
as you said, you just need to learn the language,
Yes.
right?" So on this video I did this week, I was drafting a trouser from that book.
Mm-hmm.
And it was drafted with me. I was showing you, okay, it says 0 to 1, square up, square down.
Right.
So I went onto the pattern paper, showed people exactly what it meant. Now it says a lot. And then when I first put out the video on Wednesday morning, it was like, it just went into a void. It was like 10 views.
Yeah.
Got to the end of the day, it was like 11 views. I was like, oh my God, it's done. It's horrible. People hate my channel. It was like half an hour long as well. So I was like, oh God. And then I couldn't even bear to look at the metrics. I was like, oh, it's totally flopped. You know, like no one loves the sewing content. No one loves the pattern drafting stuff. It's just dry and boring, like bone dry and boring.
Bone dry.
But then on the train here to meet you,
Yes.
I was let me go and have a look, and there was so many comments. I mean, it was in the grand scheme of YouTube, 10 comments. I'm like, I'll take that.
But that's still
that's quite a lot.
But people going, this is the best tutorial I've ever seen for how to use one of these books. And that sort of thing. And I was like, oh my God, like it's, this is what I wish I'd had,
Right.
So
Well,
for
that makes
something
sense.
that's so effortless for you, and honestly, John, I'm telling you,
100%.
because for people, the sewing industry, as far as like hobby sewing,
Sure.
is massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And people are invested in their hobbies. Right?
No, that's true.
The one thing I think is missing from that is the pattern drafting side of it.
Yeah.
Because home sewers find it scary as hell.
No,
like,
I get
even
that.
me and even you, Chris, like we've tinkered with it.
Yes.
And despite years of tinkering with it, we still feel so inept.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm definitely not in your league. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. And so I think for you, because it's so effortless,
Right.
I think that's something you could lend to the sewing industry. Because I think also another thing that happens when you're in the fashion design, the proper institutionalized fashion design thing, is I think you look at fashion designers, look at the home sewing industry as sort of like, the lower echelon.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't, but I do know people
because you know somebody else,
but
right?
of course I know people who do. I would never buy a store-bought pattern. Ugh.
Yeah,
It's like,
There's
nothing wrong with those.
And we seem like such amateurs compared to the level that you're at.
Yeah.
But I think there's a missed opportunity in that crossover.
No, I think I know you're right about that, and I think there is a crossover that should be there that isn't. And there are people who are skilled, but as you say, maybe are afraid to do it or don't know how, that could pick it up quite easily. And I completely agree with that. So I will let that turn over in my mind.
I've been saying that to you for years.
No,
because you yes, that is a huge missing thing that I can't relate more to that than I am right now. That's so true. Like the scary feeling of going into pattern thing. But you specifically have the right temperament and how you relate to people, which I think people would warm to you, and it would be another layer of you've got all this skill that you can impart, but also you're not a stereotypical fashion spiky person.
Sure.
Like
no, I know what you mean. I'm relaxed and I'm easygoing, and and I can talk to people, and I know what you mean. And
quite easy on the eye, also.
Oh, well, that's very kind. Thank you.
Great.
That's what I was going to say about this podcast. It's basically you two just glazing each other for an hour.
Yeah.
So now I've joined the glaze fest.
Yeah. That's why not?
Well, I appreciate
we
it
have
very
to
much.
show each other that we love each other.
So on that
No,
note,
it's like you're fabulous. No, you're fabulous. No, you're fabulous.
No, we're both fabulous. I mean, she's right.
it's true.
Clocked. Yes, but on that note, absolutely. Let's message received. I shall stop glazing.
No, I love it. Keep the glaze.
Okay, great. So, John, but that I think I can safely say is probably the episode.
No, that's been fab. We'll just have to have you on for the rest of the conversation another time.
Yeah. Join us next episode and the one after with Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of season 3. Got there.
Yeah.
It was close.
Yeah.
absolute blast. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
thank
coming
you,
on.
thank you.
It's been incredible.
I'm just going to leave it, but I'm just going to drop this here. But, if
Drop
you
it.
are ever looking for a trio,
Absolutely. I mean, welcome to That's So Fashion. The new host has joined.
No, but it's good. It's always good.
Yeah, I mean,
We love a conversation.
I'd love to come back anytime. So.
You're
No, but we
so
love
welcome.
it.
So fun.
Like, the conversation is real. Like, that was...
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
We know this already. I mean, this is our bread and butter, not bread and butter. This is our routine, like our formula.
Yeah.
But it's an honest conversation about wherever it takes us, and it's just so much fun.
No, literally. It's been such a hoot to have you on. And, like, you may joke that bone dry babes, but absolute breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Such a ball of positivity, creativity. It's just been so nice to have you on.
Knowledge.
And knowledge, exactly, yeah. And I mean, look what she's wearing. Hello.
Oh, I know.
But no, thank you for joining us. If you're joining us late, this is April's episode.
Yes.
We did skip one, so apologies for that. So thank you for staying with us. But join us next time for episode 4, season 3. I'm getting better. Of That's So Fashion.
Yeah.
So from myself.
And from me.
And from me today.
Bye.
Bye.